Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. That's right, the rest of the world are finally catching up to what we all knew years ago. We saw the vision before the vast majority of people. Okay, admittedly, perhaps not the entire vision, or at least not back several years ago, but we also had faith in Elon that there would be more to Tesla now than there was back then. The same is true now. We never know what Elon or Tesla could surprise us with next, which is another element of the excitement. But most of us at least had faith in the future of cars being electric and solar energy. I mean, still to this day, a lot of people haven't got their heads around it, including intelligent and not so intelligent people. Some people just take a little longer to realise and shift their paradigms. But we were special. We realised earlier than the majority, and we're now reaping the rewards. Even those of you who bought Tesla shares at the start of the year at around an $800 stock price, even you're up perhaps 20 or 30% now, which is an excellent return for what is not even a year, and hopefully you were buying more all year too. But as of late, I'm sure you're probably all noticing it too, that there just feels like a shift in the collective consciousness almost, that the world understands that electric is the way. But not only that, they're also understanding that Tesla is the way for electric, not Audi, not Volkswagen, and certainly not Ford or GM. I mean, it doesn't take a great deal of consumer research to jump to that conclusion, especially if you're about to outlay $50,000 or so. It's also an exponential learning curve, but the word is spreading and spreading fast, faster than the exponential growth in production. Tesla cannot keep up with the demand. They raise prices continually and end up with longer and longer waiting lists. Even the long-range Model Y now has a waiting list until May, and bear in mind that over those months, Tesla are also ramping up. This waiting list is not linear. As they say, Teslas sell Teslas. The more Teslas are on the road, then the more Teslas consumers will see and experience and end up buying. I mean, everyone I ever see who is thinking of a new car, I only ever suggest they buy a Tesla. Or perhaps cajole might be a more apt term. Oh, and let me guess, so do all of you. We seem to want everyone we know to have a Tesla because it's just such a great experience. Of course, zero emissions is great too. In addition to that, we just heard on the Q3 earnings call that Tesla are planning on tripling their charging network over just the next 2 years. Triple in 2 years compared to what we have today. That is a massive jump in charging infrastructure, all in great locations that get a lot of traffic. Of course they get lots of traffic, as that's where you want them. They'll be seen on the side of the road, which is kind of like billboard advertising. For example, what if every gas station was called a Ford gas station and had Ford logos everywhere, and you saw them everywhere you drove? Right, this is what's happening with Tesla, and obviously tripling the supercharger locations is only just the start. It's obviously not going to stop there. By 2025, there are probably 10 times the locations there are today. On top of that, an influx of destination chargers everywhere you go too. You simply won't be able to get away from seeing or hearing about Tesla. Not to mention triple the number of Teslas on the road probably by that stage as well. Yeah, everyone will know about Tesla, and they didn't even need to advertise. In fact, Hertz has kindly decided to even do that for Tesla too. There's no stopping the Tesla wave, but like I said, the word is spreading faster than we expected. I mean, we can't be too surprised, as these vehicles are simply incredible. Well, actually, we can even hear that from Tesla's CFO, Zach Kirkhorn. On the Q3 earnings, he said, well, I mean, the great thing that we're seeing in the space right now is there appears to just be quite a profound awakening of the desirability for electric vehicles. And I mean, to be totally frank, it's caught us a little bit off guard. Right, so that statement reinforces everything I've just been saying. Tesla didn't even expect to be this popular, but the movement has been decided, and these days, movements can move at rapid rates. Look how quickly the smartphone adoption occurred. I think we might be at similar levels with Tesla now too. And I actually mean Teslas, not EVs. Some other major companies gave it a shot, but they couldn't make them right or profitable. So until then, there is only Tesla. And unfortunately, Tesla did such a great job, there isn't really much room in the market for a cheaper substitute, as Tesla has pretty much undercut everyone anyway, at least like for like. In other words, there are very few rational consumer decisions to justify buying a different EV other than a Tesla, especially when we see a $25,000 Tesla. The competition never came. It's just going to be Tesla out there. Well, I think perhaps the Chinese EVs can serve a lot of the China market perhaps, but as for the rest of the world, it's really only Tesla. Which may not have been Elon's plan really. The fact no one else can also make EVs doesn't help the transition, especially if Tesla can't make enough to cater to everyone. I'm not sure even Elon expected this, or did he? Is this the reason he keeps saying volume production is hard? Volume production with a profit is excruciating? because no one else is capable of doing it, because Elon witnessed firsthand just how difficult it is and will be blown away if anyone can get that close. You know, if they had enough batteries even to begin with. I think Tesla will make more than 20 million cars a year. Elon may not have said it, but he also didn't say that they'd stop at 20 million cars a year either. This is just more a target for this decade, and Elon says that they should achieve 20 million before the end of this decade anyway. But lack of transport or lack of cars for sale will not be good for the world either. We need transport. Hopefully robotaxis can support this in the meantime, or permanently possibly even two. But I think a lot of the robotaxi side of the business will actually come down to the success of Boring Tunnel. If it means you can drive, or be driven, I should say, from one side of Manhattan to another in about 5 minutes, then do I even need to begin to tell you how powerful the robotaxi network can be? Yes, boring tunnels are the next biggest complementary product to robotaxis after FSD and batteries. So if there is the movement around EVs already, then wouldn't we see demand for ICE cars already down? Well, they are, as is ICE production. I know it can be blamed on chip shortages. Well, it's a great scapegoat for what is called no one wants to buy your poisoning products anymore. Now we finally have the alternative we've always wanted, and they didn't manage to oppress it this time, because Elon Musk is far too smart for them. Yeah, most of the legacy auto CEOs didn't even see this coming, and they can't do anything. They don't know the industry. They just paid their dues and got the top job after a lot of commitment. They didn't build their way to the job, or build the entire EV industry from the ground up and work out how it will all work from batteries to charging stations. Oh, and how all the excess energy requirements will also be catered to. Remember, if Tesla wasn't also finding ways to add more power into the world, then there wouldn't even be enough electricity to go around to power electric vehicles for everyone. Tesla are doing that on top of everything else, including all the superchargers and FSD. All the legacy auto companies had to do was just follow Tesla's blueprint, use Tesla's patents, reverse engineer a bunch of stuff, and produce an electric car. This alone is too hard for them, let alone a computer car with incredible range, the best performance in the world, at a cost of ownership as much as the cheapest ICE cars. Oh, and done at a profit. Well, not just any profit, more like a potential 40% gross margin. Right, and they'll drive themselves too. The competitors are lucky enough that they have been offered to use Tesla's charging network and license Tesla's FSD. Tesla are making it as easy as possible for them, but none of them want to take it. Volkswagen may be the closest, and Herbert Diess understands, but he doesn't seem to be able to sell it to Volkswagen. Volkswagen need to go all in on Tesla, adopt Tesla's FSD in their cars, and basically anything and everything else Tesla offer them. Anyway, I feel like this also has something to do with the latest stock price rally as well. The fact that the world has validated that Tesla is the future of automotive. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.